Hello, my name is Eric Curtin. I'm 37 years of age, and this is my story. Drugs affected my life in such a way that I would neglect my body. All I wanted to do was have fun. I wouldn't take care of myself. I couldn't hold a relationship. I burned all my bridges. I lied, cheated, and stole.
All right, I can remember as clear as it was yesterday. What brought me into recovery was my parents first had died. I was feeling some kind of resentment from that, and others around me were like, my older siblings and my brothers. And I would just usually go out, get me some hard, some rock, and probably go get me a girl and get me some drinks. My family, my brother, older siblings had some kind of resentment towards me because I was the baby. And, I used to sit in my basement a lot and, drink in the dark and come out, when it was way past, when you actually supposed to be asleep, I was outside in the street running around, trying to get what I can get, eating out of trash cans, just waiting on the corner, you know what I mean, seeing what people would throw away to go after them to go get it so I can eat it, and, just standing outside, convenient restaurants asking for change. And one day I was getting clothes from a friend of mine, some things that I can put on because I had nothing to wear. And I went to the bar, then I went down the street, and I had copped me a nickel bag, and I was in this abandoned house, and I was planning on smoking, so I took all my clothes off and everything like that, you know what I mean, and I was smoking, and I something just popped in my head, like, he's kicking you out the house, so you have nothing else left to lose. So I generally started a fire, and while I was doing crack cocaine, and from that point on, I knew God touched me. Probably like 8 months. It was like an institution, almost like a jail, almost someplace I did not want to be. In the meantime, while I was going there, I still was hearing voices. So I would take my meds at night, and I still felt like people didn't know who I was. I was prepared for anything. If anything was to happen or pop off, I get into a fight, which happened, I would be all right. I wasn't feeling good when I first got there because I didn't know, what the requirements were to actually like fit in or to get people to like you, because I was just like people please. I was like a people pleaser, you know what I mean? One guy that I really, got along with, through my transitioning from Norristown to 8th and Girard was this guy named Raymond. And we used to sit down and drink coffee. I remember the first day he seen me up on the floor, and he was like, how you doing, man? He's like, and then he was like, what's your name? And I told him my name. And then he was like, so they brought you here, huh? And I was like, yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, they brought me here. And he was in a wheelchair, so he did things rapidly on his own, what I'm saying? And I was cool about it. I ain't have to, go in there and flip the script and do things for him And you know what I'm saying? He had it done himself. So yeah, I felt encouraged. Goodness come on many levels. You know what I'm saying? When you're mentally stable and got a good heart, you can start to develop off of other people. And that's just the way I felt. When the counselor first came to come see me, I was happy. You know, I felt like I was in a comfortable place. I knew the neighborhood. The neighborhood was real familiar to me. You know, they hooked me up with a whole set of people that I can reconnect with. You know, about like twice or once a week, and we would go out. You know, do a little bit of shopping, going bowling, things of that nature. I was getting closer and closer to home, and I could just feel it. Plus, I wanted to see my family, my brothers, and I was getting closer and closer to being free.
Eric, how I feel to have your own place and be totally independent?
It felt good. I get to cook my own food, which is extraordinarily good. I get to meet new people, you know what I mean, in the community. All right, when I first moved to my apartment, you know, with that comes responsibility. So I had to meet some responsibilities, and you know, I just felt aware of like having new freedom. You know what I mean? It was a good thing for me, you know.
Today I pay my bills, I live independently. I have lasting relationships. Every day I do my best. Today I am moving forward, becoming a productive member of society.